There's nothing more valuable to the federal government than a good state witness, especially one who can take the stand against other mobsters and bring them down. When a mobster turns state witness, they not only have to be hidden away for their own safety, but also given new identities so that the mob doesn't figure out who they are and take revenge. Sometimes, this even includes plastic surgery. In 2013, a man identified only as Donnie Brasco turned state witness against the Bonanno crime family in New York. Donnie was once an associate of the family and had been involved with several crimes. He was arrested in 1986 for armed robbery, and then again in 1994, possession of stolen property. And in 1997, he was charged with racketeering and extortion. However, Donnie would never serve time behind bars for any of these crimes. Instead, he worked with the feds and testified against his fellow mobsters. For years, Donnie was able to avoid the life of a mafia rat by staying under the radar. But in recent years, he became greedy and wanted a larger share of the profits from the illegal gambling business he ran with other mobsters. This led to violence between Donnie and some of his partners. In self-defense, Donnie shot one of them and then went on the run from both the police and the mob. Eventually, he turned himself into the FBI and gave up his former associates. But what happened to Donnie after he turned state witness? Let's find out in today's episode of How Is He Alive? In this episode, we look at how the feds protect their witnesses and what happens to them when the mob wants them dead. We don't know if Donnie Brasco used his real name while working as an undercover agent, but if he did, it would be one of the most ironic things ever. Donnie Brasco is the name of an undercover FBI agent played by Johnny Depp in the 1997 movie Donnie Brasco. The character is an undercover agent who infiltrates the Bonanno crime family and makes it all the way to becoming a capo regime, which puts him in the top 5 of the organization. Donnie is almost caught during the course of the film, but ultimately gives evidence against his fellow mobsters and puts several of them behind bars. Donnie Brasco, the real one, got a reduced sentence of 10 years for racketeering after agreeing to cooperate with the FBI. However, he served less than 3 years before being released in 2001. So what exactly is Donnie up to these days? Well, the only thing we know for sure is that he is living somewhere in Florida under a new identity, according to reports. Donnie was so helpful in putting mobsters away that prosecutors were able to use wiretap conversations between Donnie and his criminal associates to convict 40 people. Most of these convictions were for illegal gambling charges, but many mobsters received lesser sentences because of Donnie's testimony. Prosecutors said Donnie helped them bring down some of the biggest mobsters in New York. However, even though he has a new identity, Donnie isn't able to escape his past. After being released from prison, he was followed by reporters and photographers who wanted to know more about the now infamous mobster-turned-rat. Donnie attempted to sue the FBI when they did give him enough money to start a new life after his release. And he also tried to sue the Parole Commission for denying him parole in 1999 and 2000. Donnie claimed the FBI promised him $1 million to start a new life and $300,000 a year for 15 years to support his family. However, he only received around $500,000 in total. It's unknown how much Donnie was actually paid by the FBI, but it is likely he was given enough money to support himself and his family and never have to worry about money again. However, what is known is that the feds did not give Donnie a new social security number, driver's license or passport. They also put severe restrictions on where he could live and work and even limited who he could speak to. Donnie was told to stay away from anyone involved in organized crime. However, in 2001, Donnie violated these rules when he began working for a company owned by the Genovese crime family. His boss, there was a known mobster named Matthew Madonna. Donnie also began associating with another mobster named John Gotti, who is the son of the infamous Dapper Don, John Gotti. Donnie's former wife and 2 of his friends also landed jobs at Madonna's company and were paid for the sole purpose of keeping an eye on Donnie. When the FBI found out, they confronted Donnie, but he claimed he didn't know who these people were. However, the feds weren't buying it and accused Donnie of trying to pull a fast one over them. Donnie then admitted that he had asked for his old friends to be hired, but denied doing it to commit crimes. Despite this, the feds decided to revoke Donnie's witness protection status, claiming he wasn't being completely honest. However, They backed off when Donnie threatened to sue them for violating his civil rights. Donnie continued to work at Madonna's company until 2008, but it's unclear what he did there. In 2009, Donnie was arrested for possession of a controlled substance and resisting arrest. The charges were later dropped, and Donnie sued the arresting officer for misconduct. Donnie has also had trouble with the law since his release from prison, including arrests for disorderly conduct, domestic violence, weapons charges, drug possession, burglary, and grand theft auto. Donnie claims these charges are politically motivated and designed to harass him. In 2014, Donnie was arrested for stealing his girlfriend's phone and laptop. He claims he did it because she was cheating on him. The arrest was made at the behest of the victim, not the FBI. However, Donnie says the FBI knew about the incident but did nothing to stop the arrest. Where is Donnie Brasco today? Well, Donnie is still living in Florida under his new identity. He's now a grandfather and spends his time fishing, playing golf, and enjoying life. Donnie says he isn't worried about the mob coming after him, but instead worries about being arrested by the cops for his crimes. Although Donnie did help put several mobsters away, he claims the FBI never paid him the money they promised. As a result, he's now suing the FBI for a breach of contract. Donnie is also suing the federal government for canceling his Secret Service protection and revoking his witness protection status. Donnie is seeking $50 million in damages from the government. However, the Justice Department has claimed that they're not liable for any harm that may come to Donnie. As for whether Donnie is truly sorry for his crimes or not, that remains a mystery. There have been several cases where mobsters turned state witness only to go back to the mob and kill people once they out of prison. However, Donnie claims he is truly sorry for his actions and is trying to live an honest life. Now, this next mobster turned rat may just be the luckiest guy alive. Check out what happened to Michael Francesi after he turned on the Genovese crime family. Or check out another video.